Welcome to my show, TikTok, where we talk about what makes successful people tick and what it took for them to pursue their passions, follow their dreams, and achieve their goals. In his 30 years in the local fashion industry, our guest has become renowned for creating some of the most original, creative, and trend setting styles that have become iconic pieces in Philippine fashion. He has also successfully harnessed his artistry into an enduring and thriving retail made to order business, most admirably during the pandemic when his quick and pivotal response to the challenging times paid off and helped his workers and the industry survive. Please welcome one of the coolest, nicest, and funniest designers I know, my friend, Mr. Rhett Eala.
Hello,
Hi, Rhett.
how are you?
How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you so much for being here. How's your 2021 so far?
So far, it's like 2020.
Oh my God. Well, it was just a month ago when it was 2020, actually. But
Yes.
speaking of 2020, if you could summarize how you survived and thrived in 2020, what would you say about it?
Oh, wow. It's probably the most difficult year ever
In your 30 years?
in my 30 years. But before that, it was really good. And then
Right.
you get
All
to
of a sudden.
2020 and it's really bad. And you don't
Right.
know if you're like gonna close shop or endure, diba?
Right.
Uh, so I guess
But
we
you
survived it.
you were one of the first sort of first responders and first to quickly pivot into making masks from your fabric remnants. Can you tell us about what
Oh yeah.
happened, what it took? Tell us about uh,
Yes,
the
because my
early,
sewers my sewers got locked down in the shop
right.
and they had nothing to do, and parang they were also like they didn't know what to do. So I was thinking, what are we gonna do? I can't buy fabric. They said, oh, let's see what we have, and all they showed me was the remnants. So we decided to make masks. Actually, in the beginning, we were making masks just to donate. And then
Oh,
we were donating, and then people were saying, "Can we buy?" So
okay,
that's how it evolved.
right. But then nobody kind of kept going and packaged it well like you did. How did you think of how to stand out in the market? Because everybody started doing that. They started making masks and PPEs, but yours were really one of a kind.
Yeah, because they were remnants. They were really one of a kind. No, but eventually we started ordering fabric just for masks.
Oh, okay. The demand was that high, and does it
Yes,
still
yes.
is
It
the demand
really, it really
continuing?
kept my business going. The first 2 months were the sales were phenomenal because there a lot of the other people's shops closed, diba? So
Right, right,
they didn't have any access to their stores. So I
right.
kind of had a monopoly for a couple of months.
Oh, because you had in-house sewers.
Yes, yes,
And then you also pivoted to house accessories, right? Like
yes.
throw pillows and what else
Ye-
did you make?
Well, throw pillows, and then we start to make clothes again, and surprisingly, people responded to it. I
Okay,
mean, even if they're actually the clothes now are more casual. I don't
right,
really make a lot of clothes for special occasion anymore. But
right,
before we used to do a lot of cocktail dresses, ganon. But now
right.
they still want to dress up, but they want to dress up more casual.
And they're dressing up for Zoom, right? So all your tops are.
Yes, and they want the tops to match your mask also.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
right. And so, what is the current state of your business? It's been afloat. Is it slowly picking up, or
Actually, the last 3 months of 2020 were really good.
oh, that's good to know.
And then Christmas was really good. I mean, not like the previous year, but good enough. And then this January, it's parang people. when the news of the new strain
Right.
broke, parang people started staying in again. So
Okay.
now people are more ordering more online rather than going to the store.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, your
Parang
stores were
their
open.
buying habit changes whenever
Right.
something news comes out like that.
Right. And I'm sure, well, all kinds of purchasing now is mostly online, right? Which
Yes,
has really changed the landscape. And
but
because you,
you'd be surprised. A lot of women still like to go to the store.
oh, okay, right. But it's good because your online component of the business has always been ready to, diba? Not like others who were probably not very prepared in the online arena. And the way you post on social media also has been very frequent and consistent. And that seems to be essential in
Yes,
the kind
they,
of
they have to
retail.
see that there's something new happening. You're
Right,
offering them something new. That's
right.
what they like.
Are you also in charge of this? Are you the one, or do you have a team?
Yeah, I'm actually a one man show. Except for the accounting, I can't do that.
Right. Was it hard for you to adapt to all the social media essentials of the business? I mean, now it's not enough to just design clothes. You have to be, as you said, a one man publicity
Oh,
and social media
oh.
show.
It wasn't hard to adjust. I guess because even before that, we were using social media a lot, diba? But maybe more now than before.
Right, right. Okay. You sent me some pictures chronicling your 30-year career, or as much as we could find. So let's share it
Parang,
with everyone.
sige,
Okay. This
where
is
is it?
from most recent to most recent to
These are the
yeah.
masks. These
So
masks are from remnants. Those and so
right.
actually, some of those masks, they were actually clothes that were ready to be released. But
What?
instead of releasing them, I cut them up and made them into
Oh my
masks.
gosh. Was that painful to do?
But it was a necessary thing to do. Parang
Wow.
they were about to be shipped to the store. Tapos sabi ko, ay nako, it's not gonna sell. Just make them mass. Oh,
And how did you also came up with mass collections, right? Like you would group them into
yes,
themes.
because like
What
like if I just sold one is 300 pesos, and
ah,
then if I don't group them, parang you'll pay like 200 pesos for shipping lang. So it's
oh
already
yeah,
500 bucks. So you
right.
might as well get a group of five.
Right. Very smart. What were some of the names of your collections? I remember there was
I had love. What
love.
else is there? I had Russian doll, things like that.
Right. Very clever. And then this is, what do you call this? Brocade with lace combo.
Yes, that's when I started doing very well with ready to wear na. This
Okay.
is
What
a classic style of mine. It's
do you have a name
brocade
for
and with lace. Huh?
do you have a name for this piece?
Wala. Wala.
Wala.
I'm sure there was a name, but I forgot na.
When
Ang
did you
dami-dami.
when was the first incarnation of this?
It was
Two
a
years
yellow.
ago?
It was a print top. It's a yellow crane print top, which we
Right.
still carry in the store and which still sells out
So
every
it's
time
the
we have it.
uniqueness of the brocade fabric mixed with lace in a sort of parang
It-
retro
yeah,
modish.
it's a very easy thing to wear because it's easy to dress it up and
Right.
it's easy to dress it down. Diba?
Plus,
And
it's all very
now
figure
it's like it's very photogenic for the Zoom meetings.
okay. Right. And it's also very figure friendly because you don't have to tuck it in.
Yeah.
And then your Ternotops. Tell us
Yes.
about your Ternotops.
Well, these Ternatops are, I think it came about during Artifino.
Okay.
Parang they wanted something that, syempre, Pinoy. So we did a Terno Bolero and a Terno Top. And then this new one is the newest one. This is our own print na. So we're
Oh,
designing, and if you notice, it's like women dancing, but they're
yeah.
also all wearing Terno tops.
So you design your prints as well.
Yes, now we do.
Is this like your own artwork? Did
Yes,
you draw?
yes, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Right, with an artist, we conceptualized it. So this is very new. Actually, I haven't even released this in the store, and we're already selling out online.
And it's so versatile, right? You can wear it with jeans
Mm. Yeah.
or you wear it to formal events should they ever come back. Okay, tell us about this.
This one naman is like this is from Artifino also. It's all linen and all hand embroidered. It's my farm series. So
Oh,
it's like dogs. It's like buffalo. Tapos merong cat, may cow, the birds.
so
Uh,
you designed ano rin, the animals or you drew them?
some yes, some also we lifted from old embroideries,
Oh.
and then I had them embroider it.
Parang embroidery is making a comeback in a very modern way, no?
Yeah, especially hand embroidery.
Hand
Kasi
embroidery.
machine embroidery, uh, it's easy to find, but here there's not many countries who do hand embroidery anymore, aside
Oh,
from India, di
okay.
ba? Because in China they do machine na, galing their machine. But parang it's a craft that we have to keep alive, because otherwise we'll just
Right.
lose it.
So maybe that's a craft that we can also take advantage of.
So the other country that does a lot of good embroidery, hand embroidery, is Thailand.
So this is also hand embroidered.
Yeah, and then that's actually like a portrait of my brother in the back.
Oh, wow. Okay, now we go more formal.
Yes, this
Tell
is
us about this.
this is part of the collection I did for Maxine Medina when
Right,
she was competing. So this is
right,
one of the dresses, but this wasn't part of the Miss Universe outfit. This was just
right.
this is was just for the presentation for the show.
And here's
And this
the outfit that became iconic.
the French
Here
dress.
out the French dress. So tell us about the French dress. You've been saying that French is nothing new, but what made this French dress so special, and how did it uh, become iconic? Do you think?
I guess because it wasn't like like a gown you usually see in beauty pageants. Maybe
Right,
more for it's more a fashion gown rather than a beauty queen gown.
right,
And then, syempre, there was the, when you look at French and then it moves, it's mesmerizing,
right,
diba? And the color and her complexion,
right,
it flattered her very well.
right.
Actually,
And
this was supposed to be her competition gown,
oh, okay.
but she used it for the prelims.
I remember when this gown was going viral, and I think I was chatting with you, and you said something like, "Wow, ibang klase mag-design for a beauty pageant." You want to tell us about your experience because your design aesthetic is totally not a pageant aesthetic, right? So, what were the challenges that you had to ace in order to remain true to your aesthetic and yet make her stand out in a pageant?
Well, I really didn't think that. I didn't really adjust myself to become to make it uh, look like a pageant gown. I said I wanted to do still a fashion dress, but maybe this one is more form fitting, maybe more cut lower, diba? Cut lower in the back, and then you really have to emphasize their curves.
Right. So this one, did it
This
spark
is
off like a whole fridge collection?
yes, we did so many fringes in so many colors. Parang I think I ran out of colors. I made it stripes na.
And these were the other gowns that she.
This was supposed to be her competition gown.
Oh, okay. And then the show-stopping national costume.
Oh,
What's it made of?
well, it's sequence and then but a lot of beads, uh, and a lot of padding.
A lot of
The
padding
Yeah, it's quite a heavy dress actually.
and
So
the
yeah, that
headdress.
one is. Oh my God, that headdress is. There's a short story to that also. When I
What?
first saw when the night before, parang ano, when I saw it, I said, parang kulang.
Huh?
Parang
Hula?
kulang yung headdress. It wasn't this nice.
Ah, okay.
So parang we made it more gold, and then
Oh,
we syempre pearls they don't really shine, di ba?
yeah. Right. Not like
So
diamond.
we had to attach like crystals
Okay.
para when she moved something would be going on.
Ah,
But that
so my
wasn't that.
and my
So
pearls.
the night before, it wasn't this gold.
Oh, okay. And these are they Jewelmer pearls?
Yes,
Here's another
that's a
variant.
competition gown she wore.
What's the pressure like to create a competition gown, di ba? Parang,
Oh, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
how did you balance like uh
You
show
kind of go
stuff?
crazy. You kind of go crazy for a while.
Did it also influence some of your clients to say
Ah,
like, oh,
yes, yes. I
one,
made so many French gowns.
oh really?
Yeah,
Right.
that's all they wanted from me.
Really?
Yeah,
And
I would draw so many dresses for them, but they would just say, "Oh, I want that green French dress." So I made so many versions of it.
so maraming kapatid yung green fringe dress.
Marami.
So in the local fashion industry, and because we live in a beauty pageant obsessed country, it looks like uh, beauty pageants are a big thing for a fashion designer's career, right?
Yeah, but
What?
I think you can still be a successful designer without designing for beauty pageants. I think there's also
Right. True.
designers that really design well just for beauty pageants. Diba?
Right.
Parang that's really their style.
Right. But I'm sure the attention on your dresses on Maxine also did well for your business.
Yeah, did the man. This was we had a show in on a boat,
Oh. Oh,
like
like a cruise?
a cruise ship.
Okay.
So, so yeah, and this was on a cruise ship.
Right. What's this one?
And these are the painted dresses. Parang this
What's
is
your
even before even I think 2016.
okay.
So we did a whole series of painted dresses, which also became a very hit. But,
These are
look at this. This is Maxine is in the middle. She was a model there. There's Lou. Is that Lou?
I recognize Angel and Lou.
Yeah,
Ang Lou
Maxine.
is Taiwan. So
Oh,
this is your hand painted collection.
yes.
How did that come about? How did you think of hand painting your gowns? Because you're also a
Actually,
painter.
yeah, I've been hand painting even like I think in the early 2000s, but mostly in black and white. So like
Oh,
this one, and then I said, well, maybe I should do it after 10 years. Said, oh, let's do or 20 years, let's do it in color naman.
so
So
the black and white preceded the colored.
yes,
And this is painted or embroidered?
this is painted. This is from a show I did, a bridal show. So that was the dream.
So in the mid 2000s, something that also made you iconic was putting the Philippine map on shirts.
Yeah.
Tell us about how it happened, how you were inspired, and what you
Parang that time, I really, it was like everything that happens to me is very organic, right?
Oh,
So,
what do you mean?
like when I did the map shirt, I didn't say, oh, I designed this and then it's gonna be a big hit, right?
Oh,
And then I designed it and I put it in a store. And the store then was in Robinson's Galleria. Can you imagine? And people started responding to it, especially that time. It was magazine editors, I think, that
right, right,
the first like went
right.
crazy for it. And first it was
Before
print.
social media.
First it was printed. We printed it on dresses, and you know, and it became a hit from there. So, parang I think for 3 years, we just
Right.
kept making it evolve. This was I think pretty later on. So the map is smaller, but when we first came out with the map, it was really big. It was it was
And
super
then
size.
I think copycats were cropping up everywhere, like in Victoria.
Oh,
Were you
oh,
surprised by the success of
yes, very
the
surprised.
shirts? And how did you feel when you would see your shirts everywhere? Like you reached the ordinary Filipino, and your creativity was, being proudly worn by anyone
How
who,
did I feel?
yeah.
I just could tell when it's fake and when it's not fake.
You felt proud. I think you said it when you go abroad and you would see Pinoys wearing your shirt. You felt so
Yes. Oh, yeah. There was a time everybody was really wearing it, and they would buy it by the dozen and give it away
yes,
as gifts.
pasalubong for all the relatives.
Yes. I
And this is
remember
from, sorry, go ahead.
people used to like buy it and then in sacks, and then they would bring it to the province and then
Sacks?
sell. Oh, sako, and then they
Ah,
would sell it.
right.
Parang,
And this is from your is it Due Collegione?
yeah.
This is
So
the
all jersey
infinity
dresses.
dress.
Huh?
Parang infinity dress, multi-way
Oh,
dress.
parang yan. I remember that dress.
And then this is kind of an ode to the poncho top that made you famous also in the late 90s. How did that come about, the poncho top? Paano mo siya naisip? It was also a resounding hit because you didn't have to be thin to wear it, and you shifted the erogenous zone from the waist to the collarbone.
Yes. Yun talaga, ang dami nung copy.
Everybody,
I think all the ninangs wore that, di ba?
right?
And we used to sell it. I remember it used to be black, and I couldn't, I always had to order the fabric in silk, and you couldn't find
Oh,
silk, so I had to bring it in from Hong Kong. And then we
okay.
always sold it with a strapless dress that was jersey,
Right,
and there was a
right,
look.
right.
Everybody had that look, and then they would wear it over their shoulder, di ba?
Very ninang friendly kasi.
And then the next thing you know, everybody was just in it.
Yes, I've seen everybody on
So
TV,
yeah,
everybody in every wedding. So looking back, what do you think makes a piece iconic? And you've had so many of them. Do you have a strategy? Like, if you have a hit, do you keep uh, consistently making more variations or
yeah. I
create?
guess you do that, and then there's also a life cycle to that, diba? Parang
Right,
you also
right.
have to know when to stop.
And when do you
Right?
stop?
When you stop, when people start copying, then you move on to the next thing.
Right. And how do you
Kasi,
move on to the? Sorry, go ahead.
then you have to think of something new, diba? Something new to offer. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Pero you just really have to be thinking of uh, how you're gonna evolve your brand or your design.
And how do
It's
you
not.
do that in a consistent way? Like,
I guess
ah,
no. For me, I think it's just luck. It just happens.
talaga?
I think so. I mean, I don't think it's there's no scientific ano na oh it hit. I guess you just have to. I always think of myself like as a young designer. I don't think
Right,
of myself. Oh, I'm such a seasoned designer. I know everything. For me, I know nothing, and I'm
right.
learning all the time.
So you're
Because,
humble enough to keep starting again.
but I think that's how you'll be interested in in your craft. If you be
Right,
interested in your craft, if you become complacent, that's when you just plateau, and
right,
you become uninteresting. So you
right,
just have to really approach it like everything's new. Even like
right,
now, I mean, like when we did the mask, that was new to me. I never did mask before, so
right,
you just really had to adapt and and learn how to evolve and be more. I guess be more humble.
right. But what keeps your brain creative enough to be fertile for like those sparks of alam ko na, itong gawin natin, or right? Like, what's your stimuli, or do you have a process or
Sometimes,
a
sometimes,
mindset?
oh, I have to make payroll, and then I have
That's the best.
I have to make payroll. I have to think of something new. And sometimes it's just a light bulb that comes in your mind, diba? It's not one thing,
My husband is laughing.
right?
He said, I have to make payroll. Feel niya yung mindset na yan.
Well, because like when we were locked down, it's like, oh, how will I pay these people? I have no income, right? I can't like go through my savings and just finish it. Tapos, sorry,
Right,
bye-bye.
right,
So you have to think of something.
right. Nakaka-pressure ba? Like, sa dami ng mga iconic hits mo, are you pressured? Like, are there times when you think, nako, wala na, tapos na, wala na akong maisip.
Siyempre, there are times like that.
Right?
Pero
And
I guess you just keep on going. I don't think of myself now, oh, I have to create another iconic piece. It
so
just becomes that, right?
right,
It becomes so like, and sometimes like the map shirt is an iconic piece, but I don't think
right.
people will wear it again. So you really have to think of something new.
Unless comeback.
But baka when I'm dead, right? Not anytime soon.
Right. And were there failures also? Like, did you have ideas that you thought, oh, this is so great, and then di siya nag-click?
Marami yun.
Like what?
There's a lot. I
Name a few.
offhand I don't remember because maybe I put it in the back of my mind. But I'm sure because for every success you have, there's also a failure. Definitely.
Right. And mabilis ka siguro mag-move on from the failure. Kaya hindi mo maalala.
Oo. I know naman I'm not a perfect person, right? So
Right.
you just have
Right.
to keep improving yourself.
And what I love about you also, besides your humility, is also your ability to not. You've always said that don't be afraid to fail because you can always try again. You want to tell us about how you were able to develop a mindset like this about not being afraid to fail. Some
Well,
people are
because like earlier on in life, uh, like even in my in grade school,
right.
parang um, uh, in prep, I think I failed my first year. Okay,
Prep.
prep
What?
I failed because I wasn't listening in class or I wasn't
Oh,
participating. Because I wasn't. But you know what? The funny thing is, the next year I was first honors
wow.
because I absorbed pala what I learned the year before.
Okay.
So siguro ganun yun, di ba? It started then.
Right.
Parang you learn from your mistakes.
Oh, okay. That's an early awakening. At least you didn't waste any more time when you were older.
But
And
then,
you said that instead of taking notes, you were always sketching in your notebook.
oh, that's true.
What's your
That's fifth
earliest
grade.
memory
And
of
that's
the
when I
time?
really flunked out na.
Oh,
Because I wasn't listening. It wasn't interesting to me.
what were you designing in grade 5?
Naku, the
Mga
gowns.
gown,
Mga
prom gown
gowns yun.
sisters mo.
Oh, I think I designed my sister's prom gown.
And your interest was encouraged by your mom, who's also an artist, right?
Yes, yeah.
How did she
And
encourage you?
parang like when I decided early on in my life that I wanted to become a designer early
How
on.
old?
Because
How old?
siguro I was in fifth grade,
Right,
and that was like already I wasn't going to be anything else but that. That's what I
wow,
decided. So
right.
that was I'm lucky that way because some kids they don't know. They're like 20 years old. What do you want to do? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know. Right. And your
Diba?
mother did not stop you from doing it. Like most Filipino parents from our time, I think, would have said, no, you can't.
She didn't say that, but
Oh,
she didn't
really?
make me go to school here. Para I guess because at that time, they'll say, "Oh, designer anak mo, di bakla yan, ganyan ganyan." Siguro
Ah,
to
may ganun.
to release me from
Wow.
that pressure, she made me go abroad
Right. So tell us about your fashion education in Italy. So you studied in Florence or Milan?
in Florence.
And where did you study?
It was an Italian school, like
Right.
Accademia Italia, and then we studied. It was actually all taught in Italian, so I had to learn Italian.
What? Wow. So you're fluent up to now?
No,
I didn't know that. Ah,
even
no.
then it wasn't I wasn't that fluent. I could understand,
Right.
but I learned quite a lot. And then parang later on in life, sabi ko, wow, what I learned there, I can still apply here. Like
Right.
when we're designing fabrics now, there's
Right.
some things I learned there that, oh, wow, uh,
Right.
uh, I absorbed that pala.
Right. And then you apprenticed for fashion houses in Florence. How difficult or easy was that?
At the time, kasi it wasn't that hard because they didn't really give us really major jobs, no.
Oh, okay.
But but you learn, you learn from the bottom, like they'll make you
Right.
iron clothes, things like that. Because we were
Right.
kids, diba? But I think most of my fashion education really happened when I returned to Manila, when I worked for Stans.
Oh. Oh, okay. More than the Italian education.
The Italian education just gave me a foundation. Yeah, parang I learned about fabrics, I learned about history. History of fashion is very important.
Right.
And, you know, maybe I developed my taste there a bit. But,
Right.
but, but the business and the the reality of fashion happened when I started working here.
In Verstans.
Yeah.
Right. Your clothes are also known to be impeccably well made. Do you think that sort of perfectionism, did you learn that from fashion school in Italy?
That also, mm, maybe, but maybe because also like,
Or the discipline that fashion
or maybe
students?
because I also wore designer clothes, so
Oh,
I
right,
know how it's made. Di ba?
right.
Parang sometimes nga when I wear clothes I make, I feel uncomfortable because sometimes I'll say, bakit ganito to? Bakit ganyan? Parang hindi maganda tong
Oo.
finishing nito. Parang you become a critic and then suddenly you hate what you're wearing.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Parang you find fault in what you
Right,
wear.
right,
Pero, well, it's a learning thing.
right. What did you learn from your 11 years in Rustans?
I learned I learned that fashion is a business. You have to make money. You also have to uh, know your what kind of uh, clothes, what kind of designer you are.
Oh,
Uh, Parang like I learned that because there's some designers that are really really good in couture, but I think I'm really really good in ready to wear, and that
okay.
they gave me that foundation.
Wow. And what designer did you determine you were? Like, was your aesthetic shaped during this time? Because you have a
Yeah,
very, uh,
siguro the Italian designers were like the ones I looked for at, and then later on, maybe later on the Japanese.
right,
But although my clothes are not Japanese, but the way uh, they hone their craft is is maybe similar to the way I do it also.
right. And so after you left Rustans and you were on your own, what did you realize about being in business in fashion on your own? What, looking back, what do you think it has taken for your business to survive for decades?
Well, I thought when I left Rustans that I made all my mistakes in Rustans already, and then I learned from it,
Right.
which is totally false
No.
because I made more mistakes when I was
Oh,
on my own.
such as what? What kind of?
Marami.
Can you name a few for the benefit of those who
Ayoko
are
na. Ayoko
following
na.
in your
So,
footsteps?
and then, syempre, before, your response, they'll really protect you and everything. But this time, it's all you. Di ba?
Right. Or what's the biggest lesson you learned?
What's the biggest lesson I learned? Is learn from your mistakes. Be Learn from your mistakes. Don't be mayabang.
That's very
and,
key. Don't be mayabang.
yeah.
And what?
And be kind to others.
Tama. Be kind to others. And I think your sense of reality is also a big factor. Like I remember my husband Andre telling me that he had a conversation with you at one of the parties where you said that the Ninang market is a good market for you. And you're embracing it. Tell us about how you embrace the Ninang market and the Ninang network. We were chatting about this before the show, and you said, what is it? You accepted that you have a Ninang market.
Because
And it's
because
not a
I'm an older designer and most ninangs are my age. So those ninangs, I know them, right? So wala, I mean, I guess to them, I'm their go-to designer.
right. And have you moved on from the fact that, let's say, younger brides will want younger designers?
Of course. Young, young, of course. Yeah, I still get some young brides in their
Right,
30s, but I don't think
right,
I'll get brides from in their 20s anymore.
right. And you can just laugh about it without feeling bad.
Yeah.
And you also said that you love the buying power of ninangs because how many dresses do they order per occasion?
I'm not gonna say.
They order more.
much more.
Right. And you said something about older women know what they want already, so
Yes,
they're easier to deal with.
and they have a lot of money.
They have a lot of money. What's your advice for designers who wanna be as enduring and as iconic as you are? Given today's situation, I mean, what's gonna happen? What
Yeah,
do you
I
happen?
I feel actually I really feel sorry for young designers now because parang it's really a struggle for them, di ba?
Right,
I mean, like a lot of them, a lot of them don't have a lot of sewers, di ba? A lot of them actually, I know a lot of them have go to subcons, ganyan. Parang it's really, it's really hard for them. And hopefully they just persevere. I mean, take care of the clients that you have now, and then just, uh, I'm sure eventually everything will get better.
right. And what about the fashion industry as a whole? Do you know, are you privy to like what's going on? What efforts are being made to try and keep it alive?
Yeah, no, I don't know if they're doing anything here,
Right,
uh, but I think people are just trying to like survive, diba?
right,
Uh, Sometimes if you just rely on your made to order clients, maybe maybe it's hard
right,
because there's so many occasions now, diba?
right,
So maybe they should branch into ready to wear.
right,
But it will give you a more consistent income
right. Or maybe
rather
like
than
be humble enough to adapt to the actual needs that don't have to be clothes like masks or pillows.
oh yeah, we can do you can do that also, diba?
Right.
So
If you
yeah.
could sum up like the top three characteristics or traits that you have uh, displayed or practiced throughout your 30-year career in order to succeed, what would they be?
Well, I
Besides,
mean, I think really you really for me you really have to approach design and or fashion as a new designer. You can't be so jaded. You can't be. Of course, you have that in the back of your mind that you know you think you know things. But fashion kasi is about what's new, diba?
right,
You can you can't just rely on your past successes. You have to
right,
think of something new all the time.
right,
Actually, I designers abroad, like the top designers abroad, a lot of them are in their 50s. Huh? They're not really
yeah,
they're not really young. Like Pier Paolo of Valentino, he's in his 50s. Even
right,
Maria Grazia, they're the top designers now. So I mean, but they always think of something new.
right. And
Actually,
what
di ba yung mga young designers abroad, they're the ones that are closing down.
right, right. What other traits do you think? How about discipline? Are you
Yeah,
super?
you have to sleep early. Don't
Ugh.
don't don't drink. Don't party.
Not you.
Not not like me before.
Yeah, maybe you. What did you learn from
Be
that?
on time for appointments or be even early.
I know Rhett is the earliest guest I've ever had. He was an hour and a half early for show, for call time, which just
Yeah.
shows how OC it is. He is, and nagbago na talaga siya. You also had like a partying phase, right?
Oh, all of yeah.
Your and what did you learn from that?
That everything I did then was stupid. My nephews don't believe that I was that before because they think
Talaga. I have
I'm
pictures.
I'm so lolo.
You've
But I'm
also been. Sorry, go ahead.
but I'm happier now.
Right. How did you have those come to have those realizations? Like after your wild youth.
My I had a friend that told me, goes, if you're drunk in your 30s, parang you're cute, right? But if you're drunk in your 50s, you have a problem. Sabi ko, okay.
So natamaan ka.
Natamaan ako. Sabi ko, ay, ayoko magkaroon ng problem.
How do you keep your mindset young and your ideas fresh?
I guess well, you don't read magazines now, no, but you read a lot about fashion, di ba? Like
Right,
you look at what other designers are doing. Uh,
right,
you actually, if you have a chance, you go abroad and you look at what they're doing in retail.
right,
Syempre now you can't do that, but
right,
right now it's just, or even just watching a movie that's good.
right. So what's the most recent inspiring movie that you've seen or series that you're inspired by fashion?
Yesterday, last night, I just saw that David Foster documentary. Ang galing pala niya.
Wow. Wow,
David
that's
Foster,
inspiring.
nakaka-inspiring story niya. Have you
Wow.
seen it?
No, I haven't.
It's on Netflix. It's really good.
Okay, cool. And
And
recently sorry, go ahead.
no, no, go ahead.
Recently you came from Dubai. You traveled to Dubai 2 times and you hung out with designers like Dubai designers like Michael Cinco, which we were just chatting
Yes.
about earlier. What did you learn from the Pinoy designers in Dubai that
Ang galing nila. Because
paano?
I mean, it's not as if Michael Cinco uh, started on top. He really started
Right,
from the bottom and worked himself up, diba?
right,
And plus, and he adapted to the market, and then
right,
he, I mean, it's a different culture. When I have a client, I kind of know it's a Pinoy client, I kind of know what our culture is. With
right,
them, parang they really had to learn their
right.
culture also.
So
But
what kind of culture do they have that they had to adapt to, fashion wise? Like you were saying that you
well,
can't make an
it's
student
very
stuff.
intricate, very intricate. Uh, there's a lot of work in their clothes, and very beautiful actually. And the other thing is their bodies are different from Asians, diba? They're fuller figures.
Right,
So I mean, now if I get a woman that with very big boobs, it's kind of scary because I don't know how to emphasize. I don't know how to work on it. But you have to really learn. But them, that's the norm.
right, right. Wow. So were you impressed by Michael Cinco's atelier?
All of their ateliers were nice. Fern and then also Ezra.
Right.
Galing. I mean, it's really hard to make it there, and they made it.
Is couture thriving there during these times? So I guess
Yes,
there's so much money.
yes.
They don't have
There's a
to make
lot of.
they don't have to make
Huh?
pillows or masks.
They don't have to do that. They don't have to adapt. Baka
So
instead of
baka
having ball gowns, it just became smaller lang. Ganun lang yan.
hindi na social distancing ball gowns.
Oo.
What's your wish or message for the fashion design community and industry and all the fashion lovers who are probably all struggling and all very
Well,
depressed and
I
sad?
think I just hope that they're well, and then they still have enough to energy to move on, because I think eventually naman will be okay. I don't know when, maybe the end of the year.
Right.
I don't think we'll be back to what we were in 2019. So
Right.
we have to adjust to a new world when we finally
Right.
start normalize. Kasi when we normalize, I don't think it's going to be the same.
Right.
Diba? Parang I guess we have to learn how to adapt to the new realities of design.
Were you? Was there ever a time in your 30-year career when you wanted to give up, or
Oh
never?
yeah, there were times.
Like when and why?
There were times that parang wala, my business wasn't doing well and I wasn't happy ganyan ganyan. And even my mom would tell me, okay, if you stop, I'll just give you an allowance. I'll just give you allowance and you just take care of me. It's like, oh, I go, how much are you gonna give me? Eh, hindi malaki. And then, I'll,
So
I
nagbago.
don't know. I'll try again.
So it's really money that keeps you going. Payroll, allowance.
Diba? Like, ay, kulang. Sige, magdi-designer ulit ako.
I love how you've maintained your disposition despite like personal struggles. I know that you lost a few loved ones in the last
Yeah.
few years. How have you coped, and how come you're
It's
still happy go lucky and bungis-ngis?
it's hard. It's
I'm
hard.
sure. But what
It's still I don't think I'll ever be when you deal with grief like that, I don't think you ever get over it. You just have to learn how
I'm
to live with it.
right.
Uh, I have three nephews that parang I have to be kind of the father figure, which I never thought because he was my he was my youngest brother.
Right,
So
right.
I thought he would be taking care of me, diba?
Oh, right,
But it's life.
right.
So
And what have you realized about the shortness of life that you're applying to your own life?
what do you mean?
Like,
What do I
I'm sure you
apply?
realize life is so short, and so
Oh, when I realized that life was that short, I wanted to travel and travel and travel.
kaya pala.
So, nung 2019, I think I traveled twice a month.
Wow.
And parang I wanted to do things that made me happy, di ba?
Right, right. And did it help you, like, maybe pick your battles or not be so
Yes. Yeah.
stressed?
Yeah.
Like, which battles did you let go of now, or
Well, that's when I decided I wanted to do more ready to wear
okay,
because this is what I enjoyed more. I still
right,
do. Of course, I still do made to order, but I also it's not the bulk of my business anymore.
right,
Um, so parang at one point, there's a point that I wanted to do everything, but when there comes a point when you just want to do what you makes you happy, and I guess I'm lucky because I have the luxury of doing that. But some people have to really do something that they're not happy with. But I'm lucky that I can pick what I want to do.
right. And do you think people should still continue pursuing their passions despite the realities of the moment? Like,
Yeah, I think so. Otherwise, you're dead inside. I think you really have to continue.
right.
Well,
Any?
but
Go ahead.
uh,
Go ahead.
I don't know. It's okay. Before
I
cut me.
know.
Oh,
I know that it's hard to make plans because everything's uncertain. But do you have future plans or items on your bucket list when it comes to fashion? Things you still want to achieve, or maybe in art? Like, I know you're a painter and
oh,
interested in other art
you know,
forms.
I like painting, but I don't like the time it takes because even when you're a painter, you sometimes you don't sleep for 2 days. I can't take that. So I'd
Right.
rather be a designer because I can just design and then sleep. uh, what's my bucket list? I think I'm okay.
So
I,
wala.
wala. Maybe
Sobrang
open
fulfilled.
maybe open another store, but wala naman.
Right.
Maybe to find a life partner.
Ah,
Pero wala rin yan.
yun. So
Wala din.
paging, calling all interested parties.
Walang interested.
Well, after mag-viral ang video na to, di ba tinatanong mo kung ilang views? So, kung depende sa guest, I'm sure, pag nag-viral na tong video natin, the
Oh.
damn applicants for your life partner. Any parting words for people who follow you or
Oh,
aspire to be
parting.
like,
Please come visit us in our Rockwell store.
there you go. And follow Rhett.
And it's not anymore a pop-up. It's really a store now.
Oh,
It's a
congratulations.
permanent store. So
And you're
and
also
then
always in Katutubo.
yes, that happens in March. March. Hopefully we have Artifino at the end of the year.
Right. I love your parting message. And on that note, thank you so much, Rhett.
Thank you.
It's been
Bye, Mirza. Bye,
entertaining chat.
Andre.
Thank you, Rhett.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. This has been TikTok, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.